स्टार्ट झाले.
Hello students, welcome to the online education for the English medium organized by the Education Department of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. So today we are studying for class 9th the subject science, right? The topic that we are going to continue today is current electricity, and we are going to learn today about Ohm's law and the resistors in series. This is the second session in the series, okay? My name is Vishal Sudhir Chaudhary and I am from the Kurar Village MPS English Secondary School. Now, first let us recall whatever that we have learned in the previous class. Okay, so in the first session, we had learned about the concept of potential difference, free electrons, the concept of electric current, right? All of these concepts we have learned previously. Today, we are going to learn about the concept of resistance and Ohm's law, right? Okay, so let us first of all revise all the content that we had learned in the previous class. Now, first of all, we'll start with the concept of potential and potential difference. Okay, so you must have seen a waterfall. Which way does the water flow? So you are quite aware the water will always flow from a point of a higher level to a point of lower level between those 2 points. Okay, so water will always flow from a higher level to a lower level. At the higher level, the water, because of its height, has a higher potential energy. And as it flows down, right, the potential energy will convert to kinetic energy and the water will come down to a lower level, right? A similar concept applies to your electrical concepts also. Now let us take an example of hydroelectric power station that we had discussed previously. Okay, so in a hydroelectric power station, what we have is a large dam that is built on a river at a suitable location. Okay, so water starts collecting behind the dam, right? And the level of the water rises, right? Now within that dam, there are a series of pipes, right? Which lead to a turbine. So as the water flows through the pipe at a very high pressure, what happens? The potential energy of the stored water converts to kinetic energy, right? And it starts the turbine. Means the turbine starts rotating and that rotational energy of the turbine is converted into electrical energy. Okay, but during this course, the water from the reservoir of the dam goes from a higher level to a lower level, and hence the potential energy is converted into your electrical energy. In short, the water will always flow from a higher level to a lower level. Okay, so if you forward this concept into electricity, right? Now let us imagine that there are two conductors or two plates. Okay, so the flow of electric charge between the 2 points depends on the kind of electric level at those points, and this is called as electrical potential, right? So we had considered that we have those two plates. The yellow colored plate is at a positive potential, right, which is positively charged, whereas the red colored plate, which is at a negative potential, right? Now, by convention and rule, the positively charged terminal is always considered to be at a higher potential, and the negatively charged terminal is always considered to be at a lower potential. So in this case, what will happen? The electrical charge will go from the point of higher potential to the point of lower potential. That means the electricity will flow from the positively charged yellow colored terminal to the negatively charged red colored terminal. Okay, and the difference, right, the difference in the electrical field on the yellow plate and the red plate is called as what is the electrical potential. Okay, so the electrical level, the difference in the electrical level between these two terminals is considered to be your electrical potential. Okay, so we had also studied the unit for potential difference, right? So first of all, we'll have to define what is a potential difference. So the amount of work done to carry a unit positive charge from point A to point B is called the potential difference. That means if you consider the previous diagram, what is happening? A charge is moving from one point to another point. In this case, the charge is going from the positive terminal to the negative terminal, right? And you have learned previously, and you are aware that whenever anything moves or anything is displaced from one point to another point, you can say that work is said to be done, because for an object to move, you need a force, right? Okay, so when you apply force and if there is displacement, you say that work is said to be done. So even in this case, because the charge is moving, there has to be some force which is applied, right? So the amount of work done to carry a unit positive charge from point A to point B is called as a potential difference between these 2 points. So if you write down the formula, what do you get? Potential difference between the 2 points is equal to the work done divided by the total charge transferred, right? So potential difference is represented by the symbol capital V. You can call it voltage, right? Equals to the symbol for work is capital W, and the symbol for charge is capital Q. So we get V equals to W upon Q. Now, if you correspond or if you write down the corresponding units, what do we get? The unit for voltage is a volt. Okay. The unit for work done is a joule, and the unit for charge is a coulomb, right? So we can write 1 volt equals to 1 joule upon 1 coulomb. That is 1 volt is 1 joule per coulomb, right? And the SI unit of potential difference, it is called as a volt. Okay. The further concept that we had studied previously was about electrical current or electric current, right? So we have also studied out the concept of free electrons, right? So an electric current is a flow of electrons through a conductor, right? And that conductor can be a metal, and you are aware that metals have what? Those free electrons in the outermost shell, right? Which can be removed very easily. Okay. So an electric current is a flow of electrons through a conductor. Now, electrons in a conductor move from the negative terminal to the positive terminal. That we have seen previously in the concept of potential difference, that the positive terminal is at a higher potential, whereas the negative terminal is at a lower potential. Okay. Okay. So electrons in a conductor move from the negative terminal to the positive terminal. Now, why is that so? Now, electrons, you might have learned previously that electrons are negatively charged. Okay, so a negatively charged particle will always be attracted towards the positive terminal, right? So in this case, right, there are 2 types of currents that we generally study. The first type is the conventional current, the standard one, where the electricity flows from the higher potential to a lower potential. In that case, the positive terminal is at a higher potential, whereas the negative terminal is at the lower potential. So the conventional current will flow from the positive terminal to the negative terminal, right? Okay. But in an electric current, who are the contributors for charged, or which are the charged species which are moving? They are the electrons. And electrons being negatively charged, they will move from the negative terminal to the positive terminal. And that is what is the electronic current. So if you look at the diagram below, right, or let us take the third point, what does it say? Conventional current is taken to flow in the opposite direction, that is a positive terminal to the negative terminal, whereas electron flow is from the negative terminal to the positive terminal, as we have seen in the second point. So if you look at the diagram here, right, we have that conductor AB. Okay, now the conventional current flow is shown by that block arrow on the conductor, the black colored conductor, right? Okay, so you can see the conventional current is flowing from the positive terminal to the negative terminal, whereas the electron flow is shown by those red colored arrows outside. Okay, so they show what? The flow of electrons, which is from the negative terminal to the positive terminal. So in short, you can say that in this circuit diagram, the conventional current goes in the clockwise direction, whereas the electrons go in the anti-clockwise direction, right? So this is a very important concept, right? We had also learned about the definition of electric current, right? So an electric current I is defined as a charge passing through a conductor in unit time, right? The capital I is a symbol for electric current. Okay, so if charge Q is flowing through a cross section of a conductor in time t, then current I is equal to Q upon T. So you can consider current to be like how fast electrons are moving. Okay, so the faster, the more the number of electrons are passing through that point, more is the electric current. Okay, then we had also studied the unit for electric current, right? So the SI unit of charge, sorry, the unit of charge in SI units is Coulomb, capital C. The charge of 1 electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 Coulomb, which is a very, very, very small quantity, right? The SI unit of electric current is an ampere, capital A. So 1 ampere current is said to flow in a conductor if 1 Coulomb charge flows through it every second. That means 1 ampere equals to 1 coulomb upon 1 second, or you can call, or you can say 1 ampere equals 1 coulomb per second. Okay, so these were the important concepts that we have learned in the previous class. Now let us now start with the today's topic, that is Ohm's law. Now Ohm's law is one of the most important concepts and theories that we are studying related to current electricity. Okay, it is like most important concept, right? So Ohm's law gives you the relationship between the voltage, the resistance, and the current. Okay, so let us see the relationship between the current flowing through a wire I and the potential difference across its ends, that is V, is given by the Ohm's law. Okay, now it states that, let us see the statement of the Ohm's law. You need to remember and memorize this statement. What does it say? If the physical state of the conductor remains constant, now here the term physical state means what? The conductor that we are taking, whatever the wire may be, the physical state means what? Physical conditions means what? The conductor has to be in the same state as in solid, liquid, or gas. So it should be a solid. Secondly, the temperature should be constant. The temperature of the conductor, the wire, should be constant, right? So it should not change. Okay, so the physical conditions are the temperature, pressure, physical state, they should remain constant. Okay, so if the physical state of the conductor remains constant, the current I flowing through it is directly proportional to the potential difference between its two ends. That means I can say I is directly proportional to V, right? That symbol alpha, it means what? Directly proportional. Now what does it mean? Directly proportional. If current increases, the voltage increases. If the current decreases, the voltage also decreases, and vice versa. Means if voltage increases, current increases. If voltage decreases, current also decreases. Okay, so whenever now we remove the symbol of proportionality, the alpha sign, if we remove, we have to introduce a constant. Okay, so in this case, the constant is K, right? So I equals to K into V, where K is a constant of proportionality. Okay, now if we rearrange the equation, right? If you take the K on the left hand side towards I, what do we get? I into 1 by K equals to V, where 1 by K equals to R, which is the resistance of the conductor. Now here, the small k, the term small k, you can consider to be the resistivity. Okay, not the resistivity, the conductivity. Anyways, we can ignore that for now. So we can write 1 by K equals to R, which is the resistance of the conductor. Okay, so if you replace 1 by K by R, what do we get? I into R equals to V. On rearranging, what we get? V equals to IR. This is the most important equation, which is your Ohm's law. In short, voltage is directly proportional to the current. Fine. So if the voltage increases, the current through the circuit also increases. Okay. So this is what is the Ohm's law. We will just repeat the statement again. What does it say? If the physical state of a conductor remains constant, the current I flowing through it is directly proportional to the potential difference between its two ends. Okay. Now, let us try to understand what do you mean by resistance. Okay. So we are going to study the concept of resistance of a system of resistors. Okay, so resistance means the opposition offered to the flow of electrons. Okay, now what does it mean? Now, when we say that current is flowing through a conductor, what does it mean? Now, a conductor, will say a conductor is a metal, right? A piece of metal will be made up of atoms, right? Though atoms are very, very, very close to each other. And in a very small piece of metal, even say 1 centimeter, even say a 1 centimeter long piece of wire, right? There are going to be millions and millions and millions of atoms in that very small one piece. Okay. So what will happen here is that electrons have to make their way through the atoms, right? And atoms in the center, every atom in its center has a positively charged nucleus, right? So what happens when that electron is moving through the metal, right? The different nucleus or different nuclei of the various atoms are constantly pulling and pushing on the moving electrons. The electrons also feel the repulsion from the other electrons, right? You are quite aware that two like charges repel each other and opposite charges attract each other. So when the electrons are moving through a piece of a metal, they are constantly being pushed and pulled by the various positively charged nuclei as well as the other electrons, right? So in this case, or by this way, they feel a resistance. They feel opposition. So when the electrons are trying to move through the conductor, what happens? They face difficulty in moving through, right? This is what is called as resistance. Okay, and resistance varies for material to material. Say, for example, what the wires we have at our homes, right? Now, through which the current is flowing, generally they are made up of copper. Right? Why copper? Because copper has relatively lower resistance, right? But there are much better metals which can be used, which have much lower resistance. Say, for example, gold. The metal gold and silver, they have much lower resistance. That means electricity can flow much efficiently, much better through those gold wires, right? But we cannot replace the gold wires, the copper wires with gold being so costly. Yeah, okay, but in your mobile phones, the processors which are there, they have the gold particles inside to reduce the to decrease the resistance. Fine, that is a topic for some another day. So what we are talking about here is a concept of resistance. Okay, so in short, resistance is the opposition to the flow of electrons. Okay, right. So we make use of different forms of resistances in circuits as per our requirement. Okay, so in your mobile phone, in any radio, in any electronic device, there is a circuit board, right, which does various works of calculation, various works it does. Okay, so a resistor is used over there and in various forms. Okay, so a resistor is a two-ended component having a given amount of resistance between its two ends. So as per our requirement, you can have resistances of various values. As you can see here in the diagram, you can see they are having different colors, right? They have those bands having different colors. Now, depending upon those colors, they are having different resistances, right? Some of the resistor will have low resistance, some of them will have a high resistance. So they are selected as per their requirement. On the left hand side at the bottom, you can see that diagram, that zigzag line, that is a symbol for a resistance. Okay, when we draw a resistance in a circuit, we are giving that symbol. Okay, so in short, you need to understand that resistor is a component which is added in a circuit. Now there are two ways by which resistors can be added, right? In several electrical devices, a number of resistors are connected together in different ways. So this is a simple typical circuit diagram. You can find such circuits in various electronic devices, something like a toy car. If it breaks open, you can see that there can be such green colored boards, PCB boards, on which you have different components. So you can see there are various ways in which see those resistors are attached here, right? So as per the requirement, it can be used for various purposes. Okay, and then there you can have the microchip, then you can have a power supply and other things, right? Now, basically, the resistance connections are of two types. Okay, so there are two methods to connect the resistors in a circuit, right? So these are, the first one is called as a resistance in series or resistors connected in a series combination. And second one is resistors connected in a parallel combination. So there are two main ways which we are going to study here. Okay, but these two ways have a completely different effect when they are connected in a circuit. Okay, so that is what we are concerned today. That is what we are going to be studying today. Okay, let us see exactly how the circuit appears. Okay, so when you have a resistor in series, you have such a circuit. Now, what is this circuit diagram exactly? So we will just first of all describe what this circuit is, right? Now, right at the bottom, you have a power supply shown by E, right? Now, a power supply will always have two terminals, just like a battery. This is a battery because there are two cells here connected, right? So on the left hand side, you have the positive terminal. On the right hand side, you have the negative terminal. The positive terminal is shown by a longer line, whereas the negative terminal is shown by a shorter line. So in this case, you have a positive terminal, then a shorter line, then a longer line, then a shorter line. So in this case, you have two cells connected together. Okay. Then on the left hand side, you have a key, K, a plug key. Means it is there to switch on and off the circuit. Then there is an arrow which shows the direction of the current. Now you can see the arrow is situated on the conductor. That means it is showing the direction of conventional current. Okay, as you can see, it is going away from the positive terminal. So it will go from the positive terminal and come back into the negative terminal. Okay. Then you have here a device called as an ammeter. Ammeter is a device used to measure the amount of current flowing. Okay. Then here between those 2 points X and Y, you can see there are those 3 resistances R1, R2 and R3. Okay. And we are connected a voltmeter across the points X and Y. Okay. Then the circuit is completed. Now, this is called a series because the resistors are connected one after the other across the same conductor. Means they are connected one after another, end on end, between those points X and Y. So this such type of connection is called as a resistor in series combination. Now, if you look at the next diagram, now this is a parallel combination. Now here it is the same diagram. Just look at the point X and Y on the right, on the left and right hand side. You can see here the resistors. Can you see the R1, R2, and R3? The 3 resistors, now they are situated parallel to each other. But if you look carefully, the 2 ends of the resistors are connected on those common points, X and Y. Right? So they are not connected end on end, but they are connected, all 3 are connected at the same points. This is called as a resistor in parallel combination. Okay, fine. Now let us further now study in detail the concept of resistor in series combination. The parallel combination we'll be studying in tomorrow's class, that is the next class. But today we will now go into detail the concept of a series combination. Okay, now let us go into this diagram now. Okay, now here you can see those resistors R1, R2 and R3 which are connected in a series combination. Right, now the voltmeter V at the bottom here connected across point X and Y will measure the potential difference between the 2 points X and Y, whereas the current flowing through the circuit will be measured by the ammeter A. Okay, now because all the 3 resistors are connected end on end, the current flowing will remain the same because the wires are not getting divided, right? There is only one wire which goes through R1, R2 and R3. Means they go through the same conductor, right? That means the current flowing through them will be constant. Amount of electrons flowing through them will be constant. But let us consider now when the current flows from the positive terminal through the key, through the ammeter, and then reaches point X. Now, from point X it reaches into the resistor R1. Now, the R1, what it does, it offers some resistance, some opposition to the electricity. So what will happen? The voltage across resistor R1 will decrease. And then the current will go through R2. Now, because the voltage has decreased through R1, the amount of voltage reaching R2 will be decreased. And same way, the R2 will also, the resistor R2 will also offer some resistance. And when it goes to R3, again the current, again the voltage will be decreased, but the current will remain the same, right? So if you go into the next diagram here, as you can see here, R1 resistor will offer some resistance, then R2 will offer some resistance, and then R3 will also offer some resistance, right? So in this case, what will happen? The voltage V across R1, R2 and R3 will be different. Okay, so if you go into the next image, now observe here. In this diagram, you can see, we can say that the voltage, the total voltage across points X and Y will be V. Okay, the total voltage measured across points X and Y by the voltmeter will be V. The voltage across resistor R1, we can say it is V1, right? Now we can just attach the voltmeter between the points of resistor R1. Then we can remove the voltmeter, attach it across resistor R2. You can say the voltage across resistor R2 will be V2. Then we can say the voltage across resistor R3 will be V3. Right? We can just connect those voltmeter. You can remove and connect the voltmeter. Okay. Now, we have just previously learned about the concept of Ohm's law. Right? What is the formula for Ohm's law? Ohm's law is V equals to IR. Okay. Now, if you apply the Ohm's law to all of those individual values of voltages, what do we get for the total voltage across point X and Y? V equals to IRS. Now here, the term RS means resistors connected in series. The term RS means resistors connected in series, right? So because the current is constant, I will be the same. Okay, so Vs equals to IRS. Now let us apply the Ohm's law to all the individual resistors R1, R2, and R3. Now, when we apply Ohm's law to resistor R1, what do we get? V1 equals to IR1. Now, remember, the current in a series combination remains constant. The value of I will not change. It will remain the same everywhere. Okay, so V1 equals to R1. Then we apply for resistor R2. It will be V2 equals to IR2 as you can show, as it is shown by the arrow, right? And then we can write V3 equals to IR3, right? Now looking at the diagram, it is clearly evident that the total voltage V will be equal to what? V1 plus V2 plus V3, as you can see in the diagram here. So the total voltage across points X and Y through which the three resistors are connected in series, that is R1, R2, and R3, which are connected in series, the total voltage V will be given by what? V1 plus V2 plus V3. Okay, now let us see. Now, if Rs, where S is for series, if Rs is the effective resistance means the total resistance, okay, between points X and Y, then according to Ohm's law, V equals to IRS. The total voltage is IRS. As you can see from the diagram, it is written in the top, V equals to IRS, right? Okay, then, so that is your point number 2. Okay, now if you apply the Ohm's law for the three individual resistors, we get what? V1 equals to IR1, V2 equals to IR2, and V3 equals to IR3. That we can write as equation number 3. As you can see in the diagram we had seen now, V1 equals to IR1 here, then V2 equals to IR2, and V3 equals to IR3. Now these are the resistance or voltages across the individual resistors V1, R1, R2, and R3. Okay, then substituting equations 2 and 3 in equations 1. Now, where is our equation 1? Can you see here at the bottom, equation 1, V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So if we substitute the values of equation number 2 and number 3 in equation number 1, what do we get? IRS equals to IR1 plus IR2 plus IR3. Okay. Now, for this equation, if you take I common, what we get for the right hand side? For the right hand side of the equation, you can take I common. So what we get? IRS equals to I into bracket R1 plus R2 plus R3, right? And then I on the left hand side, the current value on the left hand side, and the I value, the current value on the right hand side will get cancelled off, right? So what remains then? Hence, Rs equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. That means for a series combination, Rs stands for resistors in series combination. So for a series combination, the total resistance of the circuit will be equal to the sum of the individual resistors. Means whatever the number of resistors you have added, you just have to add up their values. R1, R2, R3, R4, R5 जितने भी resistors वहां पर है, सबकी values हम add कर देंगे. So आपको क्या मिलेगा? You will get the total resistance of the circuit. Okay, so look at that final statement. If n resistors are connected in series, then Rs equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4, R5 up to Rn. जितने भी रेजिस्टर्स आपने सीरीज में कंबाइन किए हैं, उन सारे रेजिस्टर्स की वैल्यूज आप ऐड करेंगे. सिंपल. Okay, so you need to remember this diagram here, which is important because this diagram will help you in understanding the concept of what? Your resistors in series. And in a series combination, the total voltage is what? V1 plus V2 plus V3, whatever it may be, through the individual resistors, right? And then applying Ohm's law, what we get finally? Rs equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3 up to Rn. Okay, now let us see what exactly happens when you connect the resistors in a series combination. Okay, first point, the same current flows through each resistor. Now, how can you say that? Because look at the diagram. Look at the diagram. Between points X and Y, there is no alternative way for the electrons to go, right? So what will happen? The electrons have no other way but to go only through the resistors R1, R2, and R3. right? So that means what? The current will remain the same, means it will remain constant. Okay. Point number 2, the effective resistance of the resistors is equal to the sum of their individual resistances. Effective resistance means the total resistance. Okay. So the total resistance of the circuit is the sum of the individual resistance. So in this diagram, how many resistors we have? We have 3 resistors, R1 plus R2 plus R3. So total resistance Rs will be equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3, right? We will be solving numericals based on this, right? So the unit for resistance is ohm, that we will see later. Okay. Then point number 3, the potential difference means voltage. The potential difference between the two extremes of the arrangement. Now, what are the two extremes of the arrangement? Point X and point Y. Okay, so the potential difference between the two extremes of the arrangement is equal to sum of the potential differences across the individual resistors that we had seen previously in this diagram. Can you see the effective potential difference between the two extremes? What are the two extremes here? Point X and Y, right? So for the voltage between point X and Y is written right at the top. You can see V in red equals to IRS, right? And the total effective voltage or total effective potential difference is equal to what? The potential difference across the individual resistors. So you can say V1 equals to, V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. That is what it mentions, the point number 3 here. The potential difference between the two extremes of the arrangement is equal to the sum of the potential differences across individual resistors, right? Then further, when resistors are connected in series, they are connected one after the other. Okay, that means they are connected end on end. Okay, then next point. If any one of them does not function, the circuit breaks and there is no flow of electricity. That means what? Let us assume that suppose the resistor R2 goes bad. मतलब समझो resistor R2 खराब हो गया. It is not working. उसका circuit समझो break हो गया. Right? So what will happen here? There is no other way for the current to reach resistor R3. So in this case, what will happen? The circuit will break and the electricity flow will stop. Okay. So the series combination is not an effect, not a good way of connecting resistors. Okay. This arrangement is used to increase the resistance in a circuit. Yes, अगर आपको किसी circuit में electricity का flow अगर increase करना है, तो what is done here? That the resistors are connected in series. तो electricity का जो flow है वो कम हो जाएगा, reduce हो जाएगा. Okay, ठीक है? Then next point. If two bulbs are connected in series, now remember, what is a resistor which offers obstruction to the flow of electricity? Abhi dekho, any appliance that you use, it can be a bulb, it can be a fan, it can be a refrigerator, it can be a television. Any appliance that you use, it acts as a resistor. वो एक resistor जैसा काम करता है. Why? Because it is using up electricity, so it offers some amount of resistance. Okay, so you can imagine a bulb to be like a resistor. So look at this diagram here. If two bulbs are connected in series, both will give less light than if they had been connected individually. Now, ये कैसे होता है? How does it happen? Now, on the left hand side, in the left hand side diagram, you have only one bulb here. Okay, so it gets maximum voltage. There is no voltage drop क्योंकि यहाँ पर voltage share करने के लिए और कोई appliance नहीं है. But on the right hand side, when you connect the two bulbs together, what happens? The current remains constant, but the voltage will drop. Why is it so? Because the voltage is now shared by two bulbs. Okay, so the voltage becomes half actually. So what will happen in this case? Both the bulbs will glow a bit dim than in the case of the only single bulb. So single bulb will go very brightly. But if you connect two bulbs in a series combination, the voltage gets divided and the bulbs will glow a bit dimmer. Okay, look at the third case. If three bulbs are connected in series, their light output will decrease further. And all the bulbs connected in series do not get the same voltage of the power supply. The voltage will keep on dropping. Okay, have you understood this? Right, so as you can see in the first case on the left hand side, only one bulb is there. It glows with the maximum brightness, right? When you get two bulbs, what happens? The voltage gets divided and the bulbs get a bit dimmer. Okay, when you connect one more bulb, when you have three bulbs, what will happen? The voltage gets further shared. Okay, so the bulbs still get dimmer. Okay, so that is what. Further, all the bulbs get less voltage because the voltage gets shared by the bulbs connected in the circuit. So as you go on putting more and more and more number of bulbs, what will happen? The brightness will go on decreasing further and further. Also, the resistance of the circuit increases as the number of bulbs in the circuit increases, due to which current from the power supply also decreases. Now, if you remember your Ohm's law, what is the statement? If the voltage increases, the current decreases. Getting the point? So if the voltage gets shared, what will happen? The current flowing through them will also decrease. Okay, that is what is important. Okay, okay. So far, what we have done today is we have completed the concept of resistors in series. Let us again go through the concepts that we have learned today very briefly, and then we will continue tomorrow with the concept of what? Your parallel combination. So let us first of all revise the Ohm's law. Okay, what does it say? If the physical state of a conductor remains constant, the current flowing through it is directly proportional to the potential difference between the two ends. That means I, the current, is directly proportional to V, that is your potential difference voltage. If you remove the symbol of proportionality, what do you get is a constant. So I equals to K into V. Okay, so here K is called as a constant of proportionality. Okay, now if you rearrange this equation, if you take the small k on the left hand side, what do you get? I divided by k, or I into 1 by k equals to V. Okay, now 1 by k, 1 by small k is a term called as R, which is called as resistance of the conductor. So hence we can replace 1 by k by the term R. So what do you get? I into R equals to V, and that is what is your equation for Ohm's law. That is V equals to IR, or R equals to V by I. You can just rearrange it as you need. Okay. Then we had seen the concept of a resistor. So a resistor is a device which offers obstruction to the flow of electricity in any circuit. Okay, it is given by that symbol, the zigzag line. Okay, it has two ends. As per our requirement, we can use resistors in different combinations in a circuit board. Okay, they can be in series combination or they can be in parallel combination, right? As you can see here. So in a series combination, what happens? That the multiple resistors, 1, 2, 3, or 4, however number of resistors you want, you can connect them one after the other, that is end on end. Okay, okay. In a parallel combination, what do you have? You have all those resistors are connected to the same points on the two ends. So they remain parallel to each other. Okay, that we will be studying in the next class. Okay, so in a series combination, what you can see, the current flowing through the combination remains constant, but the voltage changes, as you can see in this diagram here. Okay, so voltage across resistor R1 will be V1, resistor across voltage across resistor R2 will be V2, and voltage across resistor R3 will be V3, right? And as we can see, if you apply the Ohm's law, right, what we get? V, the total voltage across points X and Y, V equals to IRS. The RS, S stands for series combination. Okay, then you can apply Ohm's law to the individual resistors, right? And the total voltage V will be what? The sum of the voltages across the individual resistor. So you say V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Okay, so applying Ohm's law to all the individual resistors, what we get? V equals to IRS, that is the effective resistance, right? Effective resistance for the circuit. That is total voltage V will be IRS, where RS is the effective resistance. Then voltage V1 across resistor R1 will be V1 equals to IR1, right? Then voltage across resistor R2 will be V2 equals to IR2, right? And voltage, that is potential difference, across resistor R3 will be V3 equals to IR3. Now remember, the term potential difference and the term voltage means the same. Okay, then so if you use equations 1, 2, and 3, what do we get? IRS equals to IR1 plus IR2 plus IR3, right? So taking I common on the right hand side, and then you can just cancel off I on both sides, LHS, RHS. what do we get? Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Now what does this mean is the total effective resistance in a circuit in a series combination is the sum of all the individual resistances. That is the point that we have studied, right? So some of the important points for a series combination are what? The same current flows through each resistor. The effective resistance of the resistors is equal to the sum of their individual resistances. Then the potential difference between the two extremes of the arrangement is equal to the sum of the potential difference across the individual resistors. That means Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. That is what. Okay. Then when resistors are connected in series, they are connected one after the other, right? If any of them does not function, the circuit breaks and there is no flow of electricity. Then this arrangement is used to increase the resistance in the circuit, right? And then we had seen from examples of bulbs how series combination affects the different appliances. So if you have only one bulb, it will glow with the maximum brightness. But if you attach one more bulb over there, what will happen? The voltage will get divided, right? But the current will remain same. Because the voltage is getting divided, what will happen? The bulb will go a bit dimmer. Okay. If you connect one more bulb, what will happen? If three bulbs are connected in series, their light output will decrease further. And all the bulbs connected in series do not get the same voltage of the power supply, right? The voltage will get divided. Okay. All the bulbs get less voltage because the voltage gets shared by the bulbs connected in the circuit. Also, the resistance of the circuit increases as the number of bulbs in the circuit increases, due to which the current from the power supply becomes low. Okay, right? So that is what we have studied for today, right? So in tomorrow's class, we will continue further with your resistors in parallel, right? So any student, if you have any question, please, you can raise your hands and ask the question. Come on. Yes, students. Yes, Nidhi Yadav. Unmute yourself and ask the question. Yes, Nidhi, bolo. Suhani Jaiswal. Unmute and ask the question.
सर
Yes.
एक एग्जांपल से वो ओम्स लॉ बताइए ना.
एक एग्जांपल से ओम्स लॉ बताऊं मैं आपको. देखो ओम्स लॉ में क्या होता है, व्हेन यू हैव एनी डिवाइस, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल V इक्वल्स टू IR, राइट? सो इफ यू नो द वोल्टेज दैट इज सप्लाइड, द पावर सप्लाई का अगर वोल्टेज आपको पता है, एंड इफ यू नो द रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ द अप्लायंस, say for example, let me share the screen with you first. Wait. Say for example we have this case. Say for example ये हमारे पास बल्ब है. ओके, ठीक है. हमारा फॉर्मूला क्या है? V equals to IR.
IR, yes.
If the power supply, which is E in this case, if the power supply V, the potential difference is say 5 volts. ठीक है?
ठीक है.
कितना है? 5 volts.
5 volts.
And if the resistance of the bulb here is say 1 ohm. Okay, मतलब हमारा जो बल्ब है उसका फॉर एग्जांपल रेजिस्टेंस 1 ओम है, तो आप करंट कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं ना कितना फ्लो हो रहा है.
Yes.
V equals to IR. So I equals to V by I, right? Sorry, V equals to IR, right? तो I का वैल्यू क्या होगा?
5.
Yes. So 5 ampere will be the current flowing. Got it? So Ohm's law यूज करके आप अलग अलग सर्किट्स में डिपेंड करता है आपको क्या वैल्यू पता है. इफ यू नो द वोल्टेज एंड रेजिस्टेंस, यू कैन कैलकुलेट द करंट. इफ यू नो द करंट एंड वोल्टेज, यू कैन कैलकुलेट द रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ द डिवाइस, राइट? सो वो न्यूमेरिकल्स हम लोग करने वाले हैं. देयर इज गोइंग टू बी अ सेपरेट क्लास ओनली फॉर न्यूमेरिकल्स फॉर दिस चैप्टर. Okay? So don't worry about that. We will be discussing all the individual numericals here. Okay? उसके लिए separate class होगा. Okay? चलो, very good, Nidhi. Yes. Go on. Next one है Suhani Jaiswal. Unmute and ask. Suhani Jaiswal.
सर वाटरफॉल का सर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी से क्या कनेक्शन है?
बेटा जो नॉर्मल वाटरफॉल होता है ना, उससे कुछ कनेक्शन नहीं होता है. वो हमने एग्जांपल दिया है. दैट एग्जांपल इज देयर फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल देखो वाटरफॉल के टॉप पे, एट द टॉप ऑफ द वाटरफॉल, राइट, व्हाट कैन यू कमेंट अबाउट द हाइट? आप उसके हाइट के बारे में क्या बता सकते हो? जब वाटरफॉल के टॉप पे वाटर होता है तो हाइट ज्यादा है, राइट? यस, हेलो सुहानी? At the top of the waterfall, the height is more, right? So it falls down because at the top its potential energy is high. So under the force of gravity, it will fall down. तो वहां पर वो एग्जांपल दिया है. If you put a turbine in between, देखो आपका जो डैम होता है ना, हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिक पावर स्टेशन, वो भी एक वाटरफॉल जैसा ही होता है, बट इट इज एट अ वेरी हाई प्रेशर एंड वो एक क्लोज्ड डिवाइस होता है, उसमें वाटर बाहर ऐसा लीक वगैरह नहीं होता. सो थ्रू दैट पाइप व्हाट हैपेंस, द वाटर फ्लोज फ्रॉम अ हायर एनर्जी पॉइंट टू अ लोअर एनर्जी पॉइंट इन टर्म्स ऑफ पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, राइट? तो सेम ये एग्जांपल किसके लिए दिया है कि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी एक हायर इलेक्ट्रिकल लेवल से लोअर इलेक्ट्रिकल लेवल पे फ्लो होती है, राइट? सो हम लोग कॉन्सेप्ट टर्मिनल को हायर लेवल पे कंसीडर करते हैं. वी कंसीडर द पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल टू बी एट अ हायर इलेक्ट्रिकल लेवल एंड नेगेटिव टर्मिनल टू बी एट द लोअर इलेक्ट्रिकल लेवल. तो जो वाटरफॉल का यहाँ पे एग्जांपल दिया ना बेटा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के टर्म्स में, तो पानी कैसे फ्लो होता है? हायर लेवल से लोअर लेवल पे फ्लो होता है. वैसे ही इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कहाँ से कहाँ फ्लो होगी? हायर लेवल से लोअर लेवल पे. तो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का हायर लेवल कौन सा होता है? पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल, राइट? और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का लोअर टर्मिनल कौन सा होता है? नेगेटिव टर्मिनल. ओके, तो जैसे वाटरफॉल में हायर लेवल से लोअर लेवल में वाटर फ्लो होता है पाइप में या किसी वाटरफॉल में, वैसे ही किसी भी इलेक्ट्रिकल सर्किट में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो होती है वो पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल से नेगेटिव टर्मिनल में फ्लो होगी, जो हायर लेवल से लोअर लेवल में जाएगी. ओके बेटा, चलो, वेरी नाइस. एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस स्टूडेंट्स? प्लीज रेज योर हैंड्स, कम ऑन. Okay, no issues. Even if you have any questions, you can write them down. You can always ask those questions in the next class. Okay, but remember, read the textbook accordingly. Whatever doubts you have, you can always ask in the next class. जो कोई भी doubts है, please write them down and ask in the next class. So we will conclude the class here for today, right? And we will meet in the next class. Then we will learn the concept of resistors in parallel combination. Okay, thank you everyone.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
We can conclude the class. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes.
So